We're also looking at exterior angles in this section. So there was an exterior angle theorem which told us that this exterior angle right here is equal to the sum of these two angles together. So if we wanted to figure out the measure of angle JKM, the first thing we need to do is find x. And again, we know that these two added together will equal this exterior angle. So that's going to be our equation. So we'd have 2x minus 5 is equal to x plus 70. We're going to subtract x from both sides. We get x minus 5 equals 70. We add 5 to both sides. We get x equals 75. Be careful when you do this problem, because what they're asking for is the measure of angle JKM. And JKM is 2x plus 5, so it would be 2 times 75 minus 5, or 150 minus 5, which ends up giving us 145. So again, we solve for x using the exterior angle theorem, and we get x is 75. We substitute in 75 into 2x minus 5, and again we get 145. For this next one, we have a right triangle here for the staircase. We know that one acute angle is twice the measure of the other one, and we have a corollary to the triangle sum theorem. Remember, the triangle sum theorem tells us if we add all three of these angles, it equals 180. Well, if there's a right angle here, then we know that this is 90 degrees. What's left over is 90 degrees. So the two acute angles here and here will end up equaling 90 as well. So if we look, and I'm not going to write this one out, but if one of the angles is twice the other one, then if one is x, the other one has to be 2x. So what we do is we draw a sketch of the situation, and what we can do in here is we can say that this is x down here and this is 2x down up here. So if that's 2x and this is x, those added together equal 90 degrees. So again, what we do is we say those two angles equal 90, so therefore x equals 30, and the measure of the two angles, the first one is 30, the other one's twice as big, so it's 60. Here's another one with the with the external angle theorem, and we want to know what the measure of angle 1 is. I know the answer is here, but we're going to work it through anyways. We know that these two angles together, once again using the exterior angle theorem, equal this right here. So we have 5x minus 10 equals 3x plus 40. And we subtract 3x from both sides. We get 2x minus 10 equals 40. Adding 10 to both sides, we get 2x equals 50. And dividing both sides by 2, we get x equals 25. Now we can find out what this angle is by saying 5 times 25 minus 10 equals 125 minus 10, which is 115. And then to find this angle, we know that these two angles together equal 180. So the measure of angle 1 ends up equaling 180 minus 115, which ends up being 65. And finally, for this last one, we want to know the measure of each angle if we know angle A is x, angle B is 2x, and angle C is 3x. So if we call this A, we call this B, and we call this C, we know those three angles added together equal 180, so we can say x plus 2x plus 3x equals 180, and that'll give us 6x equals 180. So therefore, dividing both sides by 6, x equals 30. And we know 2x therefore equals 2 times 30, or 60. And 3x equals 3 times 30, or 90. So our three angles are 30, 60, and 90. So again, add all three of those angles, solve for x, solve for angle B, and solve for angle C. And finally, the last one, remember again, we know if this is 90 degrees, then these two add together to equal 90. So we would say 2x plus x minus 6 equals 90, or 3x minus 6 equals 90. Adding 6 to both sides, we get 3x equals 96. Dividing both sides by 3, we get x equals 32. And we want the measures of the acute angles. So 2x is equal to 2 times 32, which is 64. And the other one, we've got x minus 6 is really 32 minus 6, which is 26. And if we know we've done this right, because if we add those, it does equal 90 degrees. So those are the two angles. And again, 26 and 64. And one more. For this example, what they want us to do is find the measure of this angle. I know this doesn't look correct according to the drawing, but assume this is 2x and this is x. We want to know what this angle is right here. We of course would say 2x plus x equals 90, because these two angles add together to be 90, and because it's relating to example 4, we know that's 90 degrees. So we would say 3x equals 90, or dividing both sides by 3, x equals 30. And then if we want to know this angle right here, measure of angle ACQ, what we'd do is we'd know that these two angles add up to 180, so therefore it would be 180 minus 30, or 150. Okay, and that's the end. Thanks.